In this video, Victor is going to share with you 3 things that he sees all six-figure booksellers on Amazon do. And if you didn't watch my video beforehand, I shared my 3 things that I see all six-figure booksellers do. So make sure you go back and watch that video, the one that comes before it. But now it's time to see what Victor says. So Victor, take it away.
Yeah. So we decided to make this video. Me and Joji were talking about what really makes a six-figure seller. What characteristics do they have in common that we see on our Facebook page, on YouTube, and just sellers that we kind of have met and are that we also work with. And I think that one of the first things is that they manage their cash flow really well.
Mm.
They understand how much cash flow they have, how much capital they're working with, and they understand when to deploy it. So, for instance, as a seasonal bookseller that I am, I know I need most of my capital to be ready and available February and March, which happens to be prime time to be buying high school and college textbooks. Happen to be really great during this period because most of the time this is right around spring break. Nobody is buying textbooks at the time. And the demand is really low, but yet there's a ton of supply there, so it's a great time to be buying them. And six-figure sellers have a ton of capital at right then, ready to be buying them. Now, somebody who is not there yet maybe bought all their books in January, or didn't actually sell that many books in January and wasn't prepared to spend so much capital there in February and March and are being caught like flat-footed there and won't be able to buy these books, say, until April or May. By the time April or May has happened, the books have already started to move up in price. So you're already at a disadvantage if you don't know how to manage your cash flow so well. So they're able to understand when to deploy their cash, their capital, and also knowing how much they have also helps them understand, okay, well, I need to buy books that I'm going to make 100% ROI or more, or 200% ROI or more because my capital is really tight, or I have a ton of capital. Let me just go and buy and source books that are make me 20 to 30% ROI because hey, that's better than the stock market is. So let me go ahead and just buy books that way. So it's understanding cash flow, and I would say that's probably tip number one. I don't know, Joji, do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And a book that can really help you with that is called Profit First. Is a book that
Yeah.
I've read, and really a book that makes the cash flow and, like, essentially the money that you get from Amazon as a paycheck, it helps you think of a way to allocate that money to specific buckets to make, understanding where the money should be going in your business a lot easier. So, I'd highly recommend Profit First, great book, but, I think with that said, let's get into the next reason. Number
Yeah.
2.
Number two, actually, Joji, I have never met a six-figure online book arbitrage person who doesn't have this. I think the most important thing that you have to have as a six-figure bookseller is a prep center.
Yeah.
A prep center is the most important part. I don't know of any other six-figure online arbitrage seller who doesn't have a prep center. They're the key to making all this happen because look, they're getting like $2 or $3 per book to prep your book and to ship it into Amazon and stuff like that. And you get to save that $2 or $3. You get to save that time basically and go and buy another book. And so you're gonna make $17 while you're having to pay $3 to somebody to actually prep that book for you. It's just like it's a no-brainer, right? You make the most money sourcing, not prepping your books. So have someone else prep your books and you focus in on sourcing, which to me is the greatest thing because I love sourcing. Like
Yep.
that's why I'm doing books. I imagine that's also you, Joji. I mean, that's the fun part. Prepping my books is not so fun. And I'm happy that we have prep centers to do that. And I know I use Little Owl and I know Joji uses Central Virginia Prep. And yeah, I think even just showing you guys the website and how to sign up there really quickly also might help you guys out.
You know, and right, quickly before we do that,
Yeah.
think about this. Anybody in any business, regardless of whether or not it's book selling or not, anyone that's highly successful is not doing unimportant tasks or is not prioritizing or spending a lot of time doing the things that are easily automatable, right?
Yeah.
It turns out that taking a barcode scanner, scanning the back of a book, putting a label on it, and then putting it in a box is not really a high labor or high skilled task, right? It's just literally mundane work. It's very repetitive. And therefore, with Amazon FBA already being so automated, you can automate a whole nother part with prep centers, which is amazing. And picture there's got to be somebody out there that's shipping everything in their house as the online book arbitrage seller. That's got, I mean, there's probably one or two, but you're right. Like the overwhelming majority, and I don't know anyone personally either. People who get to six figures have a rep center. They outsource that work to other people. It's essentially like a virtual assistant, is it not?
Yeah. Yes, there's probably going to be somebody mention this in the comments, right? That you actually are a six-figure seller doing this at your house. But I feel sorry for you basically because
Yeah.
you need a prep center. A prep center will save the day for you, will help you scale even further. Because imagine if you actually had a prep center, you'd be making much more money than you're making right now. And I'd say it's the number one thing to get you to six figures is to get a prep center.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way that you can do this is very simple. Go over to Google, type in Little Owl Prep. Look how funny that is. We actually have the video on Google there. How Little Owl and see that prep your used books. So it actually just appeared up there, which is awesome. But you could just go to their website and up here at the top right, there's a button called sign up. And you simply just put in your email, your first name, your phone number, your Amazon Seller Central name. And in this case, you'd say you want standard book prep. And then you probably also want listing. Is that correct?
That's right. So it's $1.85.
Yeah, $1.85 per book prep, and you do have to still pay for the inbound shipping, but $1.85 to open the package, inspect the book, put a list it, put a label on it, put it in a box, and then ship it off to Amazon, and then you just pay for the inbound shipping. Amazing. Literally, put any additional information you have it, go to the next one, and then you're pretty much done. Now you can also do this with Central Virginia Prep. You just go to centralvirginiaprep.com, and what you'll do there is essentially scroll down to the bottom and you'll go ahead and put in your name, first and last name, your email, saying that you're currently selling books, and you're also going to say that you're interested in prep, and you're just going to go ahead and write a quick message. Hey, I came from Victor and Joji. Really excited to get started with book selling, and within a few days, you should get contacted. This does say we're not accepting new online arbitrage sellers. They just mean traditional online arbitrage sellers. So if you're online book arbitrage, that's okay. You can still fill this out and you're good. Now, I also want to point them to other resources, Victor.
Yep.
So if you're watching this, obviously you're already at the Bookmine YouTube channel, but some really important videos that you need to watch. Number one is go to the playlist button, and on the playlist button, you'll see Bookmine Academy. Go to view a full playlist and scroll until you get to episode 24 and 25. And that is our videos, Victor, in the Bookmine Academy, how to partner with a prep center,
Yeah.
and everything you need to know about prep centers. Very, very simple. Right.
Perfect.
Now, the last thing I'll say is if you want to meet Shanna and Frank, the owners of both of those two prep centers, then a very easy way to do that is simply to then go to our live tab. And if you come back here to, a few videos back, you'll see how Little Owl and see that prep your used inventory. There's actually Frank walking in his warehouse. There's Shanna down below on the right. And those are the actual owners of the prep centers. Those are the
Yeah.
people who employ people to inspect your books and make sure that they're ready to go.
Yeah, although they're not officially our business partners or anything, I consider them business partners because like I'm successful because they're successful, right? So we're successful together in this business, and so we need each other. And it was great. That live interview was awesome, and
Yeah.
I think you definitely need a prep center.
Yeah. I would say that it is one of the easiest things to do to get set up a prep center, yet on the surface level or from the outside seems hard to get into. But the reality is that it's extremely easy. I think a lot of people, if they said, if I asked them, getting a prep center, onboarding the prep center, how would you rate that in difficulty from 1 to 10? A lot of people probably say probably like an 8 or 9, but in reality, it's like a 1 or 2 out of 10. It's like that simple. Literally fill out the form, first name, last name. This is what I'm doing. Hit submit. You'll get an email and you're set up. It's a little how quick it is. Now,
At most 5 or 10 minutes of worth of work, right?
yeah,
It may take a day or two for you actually to get signed up from Little Owl or from Central Virginia Prep,
yeah.
but about 10 minutes worth of work, and you have a prep center.
Yep, and you literally put your name
Yeah.
and the address of the prep center on each package, in your Amazon, customer account information, and all of a sudden these books show up in Amazon's warehouse, which is just insane. All right, Victor, what's the third thing that you see all six-figure booksellers do?
Okay, so this actually just recently came up on my Facebook page, and it's also good to talk about it again. It's okay, for some reason, people who are not six-figure sellers are buying hope, right? We tell people to buy 15 books a day. And so there are like 8, right? And it's like 9 p.m. or something. That's what I'm thinking is happening, right?
Yeah.
It's like later in the night and they're trying to get to 10 and they're like, all right, well, this book, if this goes well and if the used offer count goes down and this happens to be the best performing book it's ever performed, then maybe I might make $10 off this book, right?
Yeah.
All the maybes and hopes and there's a possibility, don't buy it. There's no reason to buy hope, which is what me and Jojo always say. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason to do that. Go and buy books that you know for a fact are going to sell really well. Like the Reader Digest Christmas book, for a
Oh,
fact, is going to do well again next year. It's going to go for $40 next year. So when you buy that book for $10, you know that you're going to buy it for 10 and sell it for 40 during Christmas. And you need to buy books that you feel really confident that when I buy this today, I'm going to be able to sell it at a given time for more than double the price that I bought it for. And if
yeah.
you can't, if you're starting to think, well, maybe it's not worth it. It's better to leave that days buying 8 books than buying
Yep.
2 books that are questionable, because you end up losing money on those. And actually, there are people on my Facebook page that say it's standard to not sell 20% of your inventory. I'm not. I actually wrote back and said I'm not willing to accept your thought process here, that's standard, that's normal. No, like I'm like down to like 1 to 2% of my inventory that doesn't sell. And I think that I still need to improve on that. So if you are say above 5%, you need to start improving on your like Keepa skills, on your like buying data and not buying hope. And so that was the next thing. If you are able to get focused in on data and take out the emotions of the process, right? You're going to get to a 6-figure seller because you're not going to lose money. You're only buying books to make money. And so that's probably my third tip. And you can see how passionate I am about it.
You're very passionate about it.
Yeah.
You see how excited and passionate Victor was about that point? You need to be that passionate and excited about every book you're buying.
Yeah.
Is if you can say, "Oh, Victor, Joji, I bought this book. Dude, I'm so happy. That's what I need you here." That's not hope. That means that you looked at the data and you said, based upon all of the data that I've seen, I've made an educated guess that in the majority of cases, this book is going to come out and do well in most cases. That's what you want. But you're right, Victor. People understandably try to hit targets of like 10 books a day, which is what we try to give people. And then they're on the eighth or that ninth one and they're trying to get the 10th one. And they're like, I'm just gonna, whatever, whatever, or maybe those are the words that are going to kill you. No, whatever, no, maybe. This is what the data says. I am very confident that this book is going to do what I think it's going to do. Those are the books you need to buy.
Yep.
Does that make
Exactly.
sense?
And that's what makes you a 6-figure seller.
Yeah.
That's what it takes. Yep.
Yep. Hopefully you enjoyed this 2 video series on what Victor and I think is needed to become a 6-figure bookseller. Go ahead and implement them if you haven't already, or at least try to practice, and you'll see over time you'll get better. You'll become more confident in the books you'll buy. You'll show up in source every day. You'll get luckier. People always tell me, Victor, you guys are so lucky. You get all these. It's not really luck. I mean, we're just sourcing multiple times throughout every day, every single day. I'm
Yeah, people think we have like some type of secrets or something. We have like backdoor access to Amazon, but
yeah,
we're doing what you guys are. Yeah, we're doing what you guys are doing. We're just doing it more often. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, "Hey, Jeff, yeah, can you drop, like, 100 great books and just drop them at 12:06 PM because that's when I'm gonna be sourcing?
Yeah.
We give you a 30% off." Go, "Okay." No, that's just not how it happens. So, we're no different than any of you out there. It's just that, you know, we do all these 6 things that we just mentioned in the last 2 videos. So, hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next one. Go out and buy your 10 books, but don't buy hope. Alright,
Don't buy hope.
see you. Yeah,
All right.
alright, we'll see you guys. Peace.